Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining us. We are the Jasper String Quartet. I'm Jay, this is Cy, Rachel, and Sam. And we're here in our rehearsal space in Philadelphia. And this is a first of a series of videos we're going to create about how to create an interpretation, how to resolve conflict, how to improve our technique, and just generally the lessons that we've learned over the 10 years we've spent touring around the country and around the world playing concerts. So today, our first video is going to deal with two of those aspects. It's going to deal with how we use harmony to influence our interpretation, and it's also going to handle how we resolve conflict when it arises in our rehearsal. So this particular passage we're going to do this morning is from Haydn Opus 76 number 2. And we played this piece quite a lot this summer. We started learning it this summer, and we continue to play it through the fall. And after our first performance, my three colleagues said to me, Jay, at this one particular spot, you are super out of tune. And I said, no, you must be mistaken. I certainly am playing in tune. And they said, no, really, you're out of tune. And so, you're flat.
You're flat.
Right. And so I said, okay, well, let's figure this out in rehearsal. So we went into rehearsal, and it's this one particular passage right here. Let's play it. So from 57. And it was dealing specifically with that last chord. And my feeling was that it was an E diminished chord because you have Rachel's E in the bass, and then, no, don't play your C, that's the wrong one. You have an E, and right before it, we had been playing an E diminished chord, and I want to show you where. So can we just play from 60? Mm-hmm. So we were playing, and you have these two tritones, these two clashing intervals in the E diminished chord. So can we play it again? Of course, I'm the only one playing that D flat. And I'm going between playing a C. I play. This is a very fleeting moment, but it's essential because it colors the way we hear. So if I were to just play a C, that makes it a dominant chord. And a dominant chord always wants to resolve to its home key. So in this particular case, it would want to go to F. But Haydn asked me to play, so it's a sort of like a little trill going between a dominant and a diminished chord. So when we got to this final, can we play 62, this chord? Because Haydn puts the E in the bass, I was totally hearing it as this E diminished chord. And the only reason this is super important, other than the fact that a diminished chord and a dominant chord have totally different flavors, is that it affects my intonation. It affects where I would put not only the B flat, but it also affects where I would put the G on the top of the chord. So, the way I was playing it, this is just going to sound out of tune to you guys, but I'll do it for you, okay? This is where I was playing it before. So, same passage, and I'll play it as if it's an E diminished chord. So, can you just play your E, Rachel? I was tuning that G pretty low because it was the major third of an E, so that goes pretty low. But what we realized is that Sam is holding a C, and so if I tuned my G to there, then I'm out of tune with this C, right? So can you play your C? I actually have to push my G natural, my fourth finger, I have to push it quite a bit higher so that I'm making sure I'm tuning the fifth. That's the most essential thing when you're tuning chords, is you tune the fifth first. So,
and you might say, I could move my C, but right before this, I'm playing an open C, so it would sound odd if I then played a C that was high to where our open C is.
So, this is important for two things. The first is that you have to understand what Haydn has written, right? Ultimately, I was able to accept the fact that I wasn't hearing it correctly the first time and realize that we were, in fact, playing a C dominant chord. But the fact that Haydn asks Rachel to play the E in the cello part makes a very unstable dominant chord. And that is as important too because that affects our interpretation.
Maybe we could play what it would be like if it wasn't that way.
Sure.
What do you
Why don't
mean?
you play a C
I
and
just-
I'll
Oh, if you
play
play
a
C. Yeah, sure.
Same thing?
Right? That makes it super stable. But then when he puts the E in the bass, it's very unstable. And the reason the instability is important is I go on after it. I have this whole thing going on after it that I need a little bit of momentum. If we were totally relaxed and solid on our C dominant chord, then I wouldn't have that momentum that I could go on for. Okay? So we had this disagreement on what on how to play the intonation of this particular chord. And it turned out that I was actually incorrect in terms of how I was hearing the chord. But by respecting both ideas, by understanding that I was actually coming from a place of hearing a different harmony, it then influenced our interpretation and it allowed us to have a real Jasper String Quartet idea of how we play that fermata note and then how we go on after it. So when you have a conflict, oftentimes it's not one or the other, but it's some combination of the two different ideas that are conflicting that's going to allow you to create the ultimate interpretation. So I hope this was useful. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye from Philadelphia, and I hope we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.